admin.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm going to read from my latest book, Interpretations from the Dryden Translation of Ovid's Metamorphoses. And I just want to read a few sections. I hope I haven't read it before, but stuff if I have, from a story called Sketches Taken from the Story of Diana and the Hapless Actaeon. For those who are unfamiliar with it, the hunter Actaeon walks in the woods and stumbles across the goddess Diana bathing and is punished. And this poem tells the story a number of times, a bit like the various reviews you get for a football match or a film. So that's the plan. Sketches taken from the story of Diana and the hapless Actaeon. And Actaeon arrived unwelcome from the woods. He had been hunting, but the heat was overwhelming. Leaving dogs, he'd wandered freely undisturbed, surprised Diana bathing in a woodland river. She at first was unperturbed, or so our foolish hero thought. But then she turned and cupped her hands, with water waiting for its moment, taking over, splashing, soaking Actaeon. He froze in sodden silence. Then Diana spoke. I doubt you can, but try to see if you can speak. She watched him then, by slow degrees, transformed from man to animal, from perfect past to dreadful present. Rising horns on either brow he wears, and stretches out his neck and pricks his ears. His skin is rough with sudden growth of hair. His bosom pants, his heart is full of fear. Transformed at length, he flies away in haste, and wonders why he flies away so fast. But chance would have it, at a nearby brook, he sees his branching horns and altered look. Poor Actaeon, transformed and all alone, he tries to speak and manages a groan, and as he weeps within the water's glass, he sees his tears in silent passage pass, run trickling down a savage, hairy face. He ponders this a moment, turns and spies his hungry hounds, and soon he hears their cries. A mighty pack maintained and bred for chase, to sniff the vapour in the scented grass. And bounding off in fear, he swiftly runs past craggy mountains and the barren plains. In vain attempts at shouting, he proclaimed his new misfortune, telling all his name. But voice nor words the brutal tongue supplies. From shouting men and horns and dogs he flies. And now the fleetest of the pack that press close at his heels leap up before the rest and fasten onto him. Another pair hang on his wounded haunch and hold him there till all the pack surround him, each in turn tear at the huntsman wounded on the ground, who now appears an all-embracing wound. And Actaeon, our hapless friend, was eaten by a pack of dogs, and what was worse, they were his dogs. He was transformed into a deer, and circumstances followed on from there. He fell and was consumed, and at the end his head, which had become a stag's with horns and hairy nose, became poor Actaeon's once more, became a master's head. His hounds ignored this sudden metamorphosis, continued eating. This he saw, poor Actaeon, observer of his own demise. I heard the chorus called it fate, while others cited providence and said the woods that Actaeon had entered never should be entered or deflowered. Not that he, in going there, was picking flowers, not that we're aware, at least. That'll
Ah,
do for now.
well, it's a ripping yarn, that wasn't it?
Very good.
It was
Very
excellent.
good, George.
It held your interest, the story, the drama of it, and very well told. Really like that one, Steve. I like a lot of your stuff, but that is excellent. That one is really good.
Very
Yeah,
good.
excellent.
Good.
I think that everyone applauded there. I think. There you go. Aaron, are you ready for us now, please?
Yeah, I've got a
Okay.
few short ones. I did hear about that thing where it's
Oh yeah,
the sort of like the last where the second line starts off with the first one. And I've written
Yeah.
something shorter out of it on the 24th of September. I've done something completely different. I only did two things and did other things, but I wrote this in response on the 24th of September. It was originally called Six Tricks Parliament, which is a rubbish title, but in Latin, it's Sex Fraudum Concili. Sex Fraudum Concili turned into writing challenge during leaders questioning. In other words, reported the sponsor speaking. 1. Up to 5 lines agreeing with government. 2. Up to 5 lines disagreeing with government. 3. Up to 5 lines if your voice transported at Commons. 4. Up to 5 lines of policies you'd like. 5. Up to 5 lines of how far apart powers to do that. 6. Up to 5 lines wild raging anger at current system. Good night, good morning, attention, the bet's on. 1. I can't. They're all. Thank you very much. You probably might have saw being on that one, but let's go all the way forward to this. But that was September. Let's go to this afternoon. It finished writing it at 4:15. Not the 9 o'clock news used to be on the BBC Two in the 80s. They produced a book I never read called Not the Royal Wedding. I typed in a search online and I got like Not the Ritual Wedding. So I thought, oh, I'm taking that for a line. So this is not a ritual wedding. Not the ritual wedding because there's still daylight and it's not yet raining. Still the clues left in the painting, removed, improved to hide the hatred, learned in school, inspired, creating, ridicule as weapon, tool against, tape measure of television screen, in a world of told what to do, how ritual, wedding, pinnacle, everything left in life targeted, everybody drawn into first employment, everywhere from own terms still following, everyday knowledge we're still borrowing, ingredients, traditions and sacrifices, the venue just for appearances, the connection already within skull. For besides, get ready, difficult, what gained from depends on what bought. And before know it, daylight, another wedding to complete its ritual. And I did write longer stuff, but my voice is going on very Rod Stewarty. I'm just trying to find a very, very short one. Oh, here's a good one. It's a good one. Just one very final short one, very autobiographical too. Halloween and school believe. When did the fear of Halloween leave? Pictures in books, hardback library peers. Frightened took hold children's video programming, feeling picked on, but frightened being alone, willing self on. Terrify, imagine a crudely drawn spot to represent witchcraft. The last time a Halloween party was so far back, primary school, honestly tricked my friend's brother into walking on stage during a fancy dress winning procedural, dressed in school uniform, anorak, hood worn, and holding a roll of empty Baco foil cardboard. These days, Halloween may as well be Alien Planet scene. The humiliation must have burned and driven to further instead of different truth, writing and compensation of being written out the authorship of the Doomsday Book by my friend in revenge, in maliciousness. Yeah, I'm doing origin stories now. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you sort of in the second round. Thank you.
Okay, Aaron, thank you. I love the sort of protest, the disjointedness of it all, the anarchy of your poetry. I like certain phrases as well about furthering the shape of different truth. You know, it's you've got some lovely turns of phrase in there. Enjoyed it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, and I hope your throat's better for part 2, Aaron.
Oh,
And welcome, Mohammed. Good evening.
Thank you very much.
hello, Mohammed.
Hello, Steve. How you doing? All right.
I'm fine, thank you.
Great.
Right.
It's good to exchange emails with you from time to time.
No problem, no problem.
Family as
Great.
well. Everybody well at your end.
Yes,
Well, I
thank
am,
you.
Yeah.
Oh,
great.
okay.
Good.
Steve's been trying a different form of poetry that I suggested. So I'm looking forward to hearing that. Are you ready
that's
for that?
good. Yeah, a different form, because usually his poems sound pretty much the same. Like there's one form, so yeah, a different form. Yeah. Looking forward to that.
Yeah. Are you ready for that, Steve?
To be honest, with me, you mean me, George?
Yeah. Or do you want to come on later?
I'll have to do it on next time, because
okay.
I will be I don't quite understand appropriately. I did tell you, but I need you to explain to
Explain
me.
it a bit more. Yeah. I mean, it's not
Please,
strict rules. It's not.
Because I'm gonna do. There's about 2 I want to do in that style.
That'd be nice. I look forward to it.
Yeah, bless you, sir.
Do you want to read now, or do you want to come on a bit later?
Okay.
I don't mind. Let Mohammed go on.
Okay, I'm getting some effect of another voice on here. I don't know.
Yeah, that's my missus in the background. Because
Okay.
I've got my mute off. So.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Steve would be okay because Mohammed's going to go on mute in a minute, so you can fire away.
You want me to go then, George?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Okay. Actually, it's from another publication called the Impact Friends and Family had on me, and you're there. Hello.
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here, Steve. We're all listening.
Did you? Yes. So this is from the book, a new book called The Impact Friends and Family Had on Me, and this one's called Robert Anang. He was my first best friend. Robert Anang was a close friend of mine while I was growing up in West Bromwich. He lived at 81 Bromford Lane while I lived at 143 the same road. Robert often came to my home to play, and we had sleepovers at each other's houses. We were both the same age and had a lot of things in common, including a shared sense of humour. I often made him laugh, especially when we were mingling with our friends at the junior school we went to call Ling Lane. Robert was quite short and was like a little brother, so I would always be looking out for him. When it came to football, both of us were fanatics, regularly playing in a local park called the Players. Robert was in a higher group than me at school and always encouraged me to use the library. He was an avid reader and could get through a book in 3 days. He loved books on espionage and war. He was a great fan of comedy and particularly liked the comedians Jasper Carrot and Monty Python. Robert had a very sharp wit of his own. Me and Robert were well known. All the residents in my home adored him. Christmas time was very special, especially the day when he came to my home on his new chopper bike. There was a massive fun and laughter in our Christmas celebration. Robert and I often played imaginative games about pretend family, as well as acting out roles from Thunderbirds, the extremely popular puppet program that we watched on TV. Our friendship was truly unique. When I became ill and was hospitalized, I saw less of Robert, but he managed to visit me on one occasion. He was one of my truly genuine friends. And this one's called Beena Patel. Beena Patel was a good Asian friend of mine who attended Rowley Regis College as I did. We had also been to the same secondary school, George Salter I. When traveling on the bus to college, I would be seated next to Beena together with two other girls called Dorothy Ellis and Lorna Aaron, who were also friends. Beena had two brothers called Yogesh and Suresh. Yogesh was the best table tennis player in Birmingham, and Suresh was a cricketer. Suresh played cricket with another friend called Deepak Patel, who went on to play county cricket professionally with Worcestershire. Myself and Beena got on very well and took similar classes. She was doing A-levels because Beena wanted to be a doctor. Rowley Regis was a popular sixth form college. Everyone wanted to get into it due to its excellent reputation. Unfortunately, I ended up falling short of my results due to migraine and living conditions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve. Very nice. I like the way you go back into your childhood and, you know, remember all your friendships. It's nice, those memories.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Okay. In the break, I'll try and explain that form of poetry a bit more. It is a bit complicated.
Please, I would appreciate that, honest to God.
Yeah. Okay, Mohammed, have you got anything for us, please?
Oh yeah, I'll tell you something. I think you'll understand when I say that something. I wanna hold your hand. I wanna hold your hand.
Amen.
I wanna hold your hand. And this boy wants you back again. So A side and B side, supposed to be, I think, from the 17th of October way back. Yeah. Okay, so as is my custom, I start with a Beatley song, and all because I do want to hold your hands because you're my friends, and I always think of being with you and being near you, and I'm always blessed by you. Okay, so a couple of my poems. First one, cynical, but then that peace. Cynical beside the picture like lake, where the several islands are, of reeds and rooks, whispers of leaves, waves lapping the shores. The still steady boats that take me to the shores await my turn. Will there be peace for me, seeing as how the squalls blow in heaviness of heart? Once I was hopeful of coming out of my dole, clambering the tall sides, finding every line I write, again over in my half sleeps. I found it all once in mind gain symposiums, the celebration of satisfaction, and hope lives in cycles. The best winter is plucked from autumnal offerings, light and easy. Peace can be that mode a rower can procure from. All the boats held up by lifted waves. I'll forge it with her in embraces. A writer can find final inspirations. Okay, that's all about finding an inspiration by seaside or by a shore. And that's just an idea from a little interview snippet. John Lennon was saying, I'm a writer. I always saw myself as a writer. When I became older, I would be beside the shore and I'd be writing away. He had this little vision of himself being inspired by a place by the waves. Okay, this next one is Columbus. And the other day was Columbus Day. feel that the voyage did a great good to a humanity that wanted more and better sport, ventures to far reaches under planets, trade with minds that gathered and spent. He might have turned it round, the Pinta, in another direction, fair trade winds neglected. Bets and gambles called off. The mist and fog would not chase them, his entourage, devoted followers. The dove might not have flown to then help Islam like a Shelley, a Gibbon, or commercial zealots for Turkey. I would never have been born into the richest culture under the orbit of Luna and still Venusian light. That journey to Trinidad did it, and the spices and wafts of cooked meat, the shoes on the ground, natives bustling. My mind does not do all the work. Coast to coast are whispered ideals.
Wow, so, amazing.
Yeah, you have to laud a pioneer who found a remarkable place. And some people are still idealistic, wherever you look.
Shame about who's running it, though.
Yeah, I would like to actually bring a lawsuit against Christopher Columbus. The way he brought over all the kind of diseases, I don't think he's a natural immigrant. He's just an illegal immigrant, and it's really wonderful. What I'm doing is wonderful. I'm actually suing him, and I'm suing Amerigo Vespucci as well.
And it'd be the best suing ever,
Sending
will
them
it?
to hell.
You can't trump that, Mohammed.
No, not at all. Not at all. We can't trust that.
Yeah, it's good.
Have you got any more for us, or are you going to do part two?
I'll do part two for sure. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Where are we? I liked what was the phrase I found there? Particularly, oh yeah, hope lives in cycles. I like that. Yeah. Hope lives in cycles because it seems to come round and go and come and go. Yeah.
Yeah, and we see that in the Gaza situation where there was peace and then the peace was broken.
Yeah.
And again, peace, so right in front of our eyes.
Exactly.
We see a hope cycle playing out.
Yeah. Yeah. So can I put on, ask Nick to come next, please? Nick.
Right.
Right.
So I thought I'd read you a love poem. Love. It doesn't stop because of death. Just a new stage of attachment. Stronger in some ways, maybe weaker in others. Still deep and important. Still real. A shared thing she gave me that I own alone. A shared thing I gave her to keep. Yeah, I do a love song, and the first thing I do mention is death. It's great, isn't it? Wonderful. This is called Oak Days. So reconnecting with my childhood as well. Oak Days.
Okay.
Sorry. Oak Days when summer slowly turns to autumn, and acorn cups remind us of more distant days, learning our language one letter at a time. When these small cups seem made for us, or for our toys, teacups, helmets, coracles, for those seeking alternatives for poo sticks. Now each acorn drops into the mill pond, immediately hidden as the pondweed closes. What secrets will it find in that mysterious, green-covered underwater world? What follows from that glorious, percussive plop? Where did we lose that capacity to wonder, the pace to measure days by single thoughts, uncluttered in their slow ravelling of time? And this one's called Going Blind. There are various ways of looking at it. I would recommend you shut your eyes, feel your way slowly, never cautiously, but take your time. There are, after all, worse ways to spend these few allotted days than in the discovery of the sensational. the peeling away and divesting stress to make of oneself an offering, accepting and sharing freely given joy.
You're on form tonight, Nick. It's amazing what a poet can make out of an acorn falling into a pond. It was lovely.
It was a special plop.
Special plop. Okay, right. Well, it obviously made an impact. So there you go. And the love poem was lovely as well. Yeah, I'm a bit worried about Peter because it's Halloween and he's got a full moon behind him, and I'm worried about what might emerge in the night in those creepy trees.
I'll grow more hairy and start howling. I think
Yeah, you've grown less hairy at the moment.
I'm going to read some poems by Brian Patton, who died recently.
Mm.
The Armada. Long, long ago, when everything I was told was believable, and the little I knew was less limited than now, I stretched belly down on the grass beside a pond, and to the far bank launched a child's armada. A broken fortress of twigs, the paper tissue sails of galleons, the waterlogged branches of submarines, all came to ruin and were on flame in that dusk-red pond. And you, mother, stood behind me, impatient to be going, old at 23, alone, thin overcoat flapping. How closely the past shadows us. In a hospital, a mile or so from that pond, I kneel beside your bed and, closing my eyes, reach out across 40 years to touch once more that pond's cool surface. And it is your cool skin I'm touching. For as on a pond a child's paper boat was blown out of reach by the smallest gust of wind, so too have you been blown out of reach by the smallest whisper of death, and a childhood memory is sharpened, and the heart burns as that armada burnt long, long ago.
Amen.
An incident. And when a child who has been sitting at a window goes solemnly into another room and says that he has seen an angel falling from heaven, who gets up to look? Who asks where? Or is it hurt or says, how terrible? No, something has been drained from the adult heart. Belief in the miraculous closes down, and that child's observation shrinks to a footnote, an anecdote to be repeated in the future when the dying hands of adults flick through albums. How absurd, how comical then, that poor angel bleeding among the winter marigolds. How monstrous that it is dismissed so lightly, its memory gone, the golden dust from those poor shattered wings scattered over a suburban garden. And finally, inessential things. What do cats remember of days? They remember the ways in from the cold, the warmest spot, the place of food. They remember the places of pain, their enemies, the irritation of birds, the warm fumes of the soil, the usefulness of dust. They remember the creak of a bed, the sound of their owner's footsteps, the taste of fish, the loveliness of cream. Cats remember what is essential of days. Letting all other memories go as of no worth, they sleep sounder than we, whose hearts break remembering so many inessential things.
Wow.
Very skilled poet, isn't he? Wasn't
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just capture the essential nature of cats, and
Yes.
yeah. And I like the child's armada of the little twigs floating around as well. The imagery is amazing. Yeah, very good. Okay. Lemmy's been whining in the background. I hope I can make it to half time and let him out for a wee. I think I can. I'm going to trust him. Oi, you're on trust. You might hear him whine or bark occasionally. This first poem I'm going to read, it's not mine. This is from a chap called Roy, and he's he's nearly 80, and he's writing about an experience he had when he was a young man, and it's called Mohammed and the baby. If you spell your name with a U, I apologize. It was at least 3 decades ago since you stayed. You were studying at the university. Your tall, graceful figure so striking in the room as you changed the child. Your slender presence soft tuned in a middle-class Victorian terrace. There was little sound, maybe a chortle as the soiled nappy was discarded. I cut vegetables, preparing the meal, contented with our shared efforts. After that, you left for your country with its war and drought-fueled fanatics. There are still things you left with us. I believe you could move camels across the vast dry landscape or cradle a baby when it was necessary. Your faith saddened you when you looked into my silence. A sadness that was so supported by compassion and serenity. Like a teenager at a first dance, excitedly you drank beer in the pub with the baby's mother. Ah, if only that you could see me now, he smiled inwardly, taking that thought with him to Somalia. Well, it's a lovely poem that. It's about very simple way it expresses humanity across, race and belief, and it's a lovely poem. Anyway, I'll read those ones that I've been pestering people with. Well, one of them. I'll read from Utopia to Dystopia. In a post-truth society, in a state of fix the words any way you want. Fix them with glue messages to every lamppost, glue tongues in each mouth incomprehensible untruths, mouth-to-mouth garbled words spread through towns, spread across nations. Nations will speak lies unto nations. Nations will only hear their own truth. Truth will be relative. Truth will descend from parent to child. Childlike beliefs will grow. Child behavior will be a problem. Problem child is but a false label. Problem solving will not be in existence. Existence will depend on AI. Existence will be located offshore. Offshore funds concealed with stealth. Offshore nurses to provide the health. Health will not look at the mind. Health will be for those with wealth. Wealth will act to obscure poverty. Wealth will grow to become a new God. God who can be blamed for failure. God who can be praised for success. For success. Success will promote a lust to succeed. Success will create new rulers. Rulers who promote what is theirs. Rulers who appear to have no cares. Cares are for the poor and burdened. Cares are things they've left behind facades and empty hearts, behind those consciousness abandoned people in some other world, abandoned hopes left to float on the tides of a vast dark sea, float on waters that lead nowhere. Nowhere is there solid ground, nowhere can the truth be found only in what is left untouched, found in the earth beneath our feet that once marched for freedom, feet of those who understood that they fought for change in the direction we go in, change in the way we change. So that's that one. He is growling in the background there. I don't know if you could hear him, but I'll probably have to take him out now, I think. So we could have a little break if you want.
Okay.
So 5 minute break, cup of tea.
Yeah.
Let the dog do his ablutions. Ready?
Yeah, ready.
Thanks very much.
There's a second one from that. What was it? Oh,
right.
Duplex repetitive. It's right. Heavy use of codes, oblivious and microscopic. Codes working, electrical grid needed, lifeline priority heightened, needed, expected, most, covered, grey clouds of rain, period, covered, all excuse for nightlife, last of their worries, pictures, nightlife kept inside their enjoyment, growing out just destruct, enjoyment, Priority 1 in company. Company, strangers to a unit. Company, failures of investment. Investment, go with but wasted. Investment to show results perfect. Perfect, its glue made them stare. Perfect, do nothing, it must change. Change in the pocket, unfortunate. Change isn't happening at the moment. Moment experienced, key details left. Moment spoken of, forever expressed. Expressed, it had such a special glowing. Expressed, but slowed down, saw it's rotten. Rotten and defiance kept of problem. Rotten, but investments expected results. Results, another one done heartless. Results produced from great omelets. Omelets, cafes just cooked with tables. Omelets, see others eat with something. Something in the waves, vulnerable. Something could attach the cable. Cable, essential if wants survival. Cable, all that stands between natural, no medicines, people die, no signal. Natural, even rounding up society's downfall. Downfall going on, leaving others gone. Downfall, but no history book reports. Reports, no immediate life forms nearby. Reports, whatever caused, never know why. Why? Because it could. Entire point. Why? Because otherwise it becomes might. And because I was a lot shorter, I was able to turn the infinity on in itself. Second to last thing I've written today, I've heard a rumour that although Trump won't be there to celebrate 250 years of the Marine Corps, he is looking at firing a missile from one of his ships into an army base in California to be part of the celebrations. And if that doesn't happen, then California stands still standing. If California still and stands, not crumble dust into man, in uniform, crawling mud, as the obstacle course is on fire. Incoming options closed off. Good at giving the orders. Little care how other lives expected to upstand its plans without thinking, process, question. Remove registers. Show the maniac in chief what actually do. Will they even shut the airspace down? Or are those engineers instead by check a small amount, thanks for powers? Where could that money have gone? Anything useless that wasn't American? If you can get the world looking on, seeing made fireworks of mass destruct, chainsaw extension instead of above head, to my own desert while they're all watching, a gauntlet fired, who dares step in? Accordance camps evolved backwards, now missiles, acrobatic talk. They all involve signing checks, but not publishing index. Leave it for generation next to pick way through rubble left behind from the exactly expected. Priorities are the first casualties, unless such priorities of their selves. Tomorrow past and California sand crumble between fingers, taste petrol, and was there still, and much stands. And I'll see you there next month. Thank you very much for listening. I raised rather terrible. I prefer the Iron Brew 1901, but I raised this to you for listening. Very much. Cheers.
Well, it was a pleasure, Aaron. Thank you.
Amen, Aaron.
Yeah, he's an arrogant man, isn't he? They say the first casualties in war is the first casualty of truth. But when you say priorities are the first casualties is true with him, because he promises things and then he just become a casualty because he never fulfills them.
Yeah. No.
They call him Taco. Trump always chickens out. TACO.
Okay.
Yeah, it's his nickname. But that style, Aaron, really suits your poetry. That first one, because the emphasis you put on it and the way it flows, it kind of feeds into your style of poetry. It's very, very good. Thank you. While we're with the lovely Liverpool accent, I'm going to ask Mr. Rushton to come on now.
Oh, bless
Yeah,
him.
much softer Liverpool accent as he goes away. These short poems were written about 2 years ago, and kind of in collaboration with a professor called Helena Rarrett. Let silence then ring. Let great souls bear the suffering of Kiev in silence. And let a bright thread of hope shine through this black silence, more and more visible to us every day. The spirit of place, like a great grey bird, carefully guards its spaces, able to expand only due to acquired nostalgic longing. From Lipki along the Dnieper hill, there are thoughtful parks filled with the sun, the brilliance of water, and the changing sapphire of Kiev. They reveal themselves so as not to disappear. Around the next bend, there are secluded dating sites. In the green of chestnut trees and acacia, everything becomes brighter. And in the end, we are completely enveloped in the sparkling, unreal beauty of palaces, churches, a space imbued with concrete and painfully delightful details of the riverside Okumeni. The modern heart of Kiev metropolis is the metro, a unique communication artery, living its life and at the same time subordinating the entire city to itself, transporting 1,700,000 people a day, making them dependent on each other, determining the value of the apartment, the meeting place, the choice of book to read, the manner of suicide, or the time of the last kiss. There is a most visible flawed utopianism in Kievian philosophy, an inevitable disappointment crying with regret, why am I late? Longing, although it is one of the components of love, is a wider feeling than love. You can miss what you have not seen or had. Expanding fields of nothing changing, shadows sinking in the mud, a sense of time defaulting, peace in pieces always was its battered state. Apart but also part, apart but also not, more palette than an orbit, art a measure of immortals, battlefields with dying waiting, rhythms on the intercom, a scattergun, a local pub is round the corner. Syncopations prevalent in times of peace, replaced by war and all the marching feet and meter, poets and their advocates inside a makeshift ambulance. The songs to sing are similar, the crooning in between the spaces, flurries of activity, an urban past, a distant myth, a life in metamorphosis, and life and death, a light that casts. I will go to Kiev, and if I do not regain my strength there, it will be easier for me to at least leave this world. We all move on, but certain parties carry on. Manipulations, call them that, without restrictions, wander off in obsolescence. Syllables amending, twisting, memories of what's been said and what's forgotten. Gangs in search of would-be sailors on a voyage of inspiration, desperation on the way. Away with idiosyncrasy, with its self-indulgent obsessions and useless posturing at the side of the road while society moves on regardless. Faustus played here once, but now his ghost has gone, replaced by fashion off the peg. Ideas meet, converse and argue. When observed, they never flow, transform from what they should be doing into something fascinating. Preface, not a foot awry, unless of course it's awkward prose, where feet and meter matter less than sprinting fast. Rushing headlong for the abyss as time speeds up and the clock approaches its floppy watch state. Rhythm is a metaphor for time. In 4/4 time is time in time, is time encapsulated. Flights from dull formality or more familiarity, exchanging time for fame and immortality, at least the possibility. Tracheic lines are all indented, of its metamorphoses in miniature without the myths, obscure demeanors, hidden depths, remembered lines and perfect timing, subject matter saying, you're no good for others, who reply, you're not so good yourself, you bastard. Subjects to pontificate about without integrity, the contrast undeniable, and metamorphoses of sorts, the health and safety course be damned, obscure demeanors, hidden depths, forgotten lines and dreadful timing. Comments made while in a state of mild inebriation have offended others who in need of succor feel aggrieved and fail to flower due to my ill wind. Plurality of purpose seeks democracy of thought.
Are you sure that's Helena, not you? Because it sounds just like you, Steve.
Well, the first bits were more Helena.
You're right. Okay, yeah. Because the end sounded like you. But I thought of I was thinking of surrealism when you talked about the floppy watch as well.
Yeah.
Dali, you know, that Dali picture where the watch is melted.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a very good poem. I like it, and I like the contrast between the two halves. I wonder if she's actually been to Kiev. You know, she may have been, but it sounds very.
No, she was born in Kiev.
Ah, well, there you go. Yeah, yeah. It sounded.
She now lives in Poland, but she was born in Kiev.
Yeah, she it sounded quite intimate. You know, that she was kind of really affectionate about the place, and
yes,
yeah, caring. Yeah, very good. That Steve. How did you pick that up? How did you get hold of her? Not get hold of her, but how did you find her?
Oh, I was asked to kind of help translate her book.
Oh,
and then
right.
I said, I'll do it, but if I can pinch a couple of paragraphs and throw it in my next collection.
Yeah. Oh, right. You got consent.
Yeah.
You kind of, you know, I thought that's definitely Steve. As it progressed, I thought that is Steve.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. But it's interesting listening certainly to her parts, you know, because it's 2 years old.
Yeah. It's a sadness about it, the bells ringing and the normal life, and you think what's going on now. Anyway, yeah. Thank you for that, Steve. You got another one for us, or are you going to rest up now?
I think I'll rest up now, George. Yeah.
Okay, got loads of time as it happens. Mohammed, can we hear from you, please?
Certainly. I am back, and I've been away for a while from you guys. I was counting 5 months, something like that, because last time I was Zooming was before I went to Arabia for the pilgrimage, and it was fantastic over there. I did manage to find the time to write poems, even in the middle of all the hustle and bustle going to Mecca, Medina, and in the evening, whenever I would have time, I would a thing or two.
I was thinking of you when Aaron was reading. He said something in the way she walks, and I thought Mohammed's going to burst into song any second.
Oh yes, something in the way she walks attracts me like no other lover. California, stand up to that Trump who's a goner. Something like that. Maybe you can just pick up. I don't know. Brilliant song, George Harrison. Okay, so 3 ladies I have lined up. 3 ladies. First of all, Wendy Stern, a friend of mine, is Andrew, and his sister. She passed away, but she was she used to be ill, and he used to take care of her and all of that. But she was very much into writing poetry. And she wrote some poems she's left behind in a book, and it's called Kashanti by Wendy Stern. She passed away a few years ago. Okay, this is continuum. As each cell dies and gives birth to another, as each breath dies and gives birth to another, as each thought passes and gives rise to another, we offer peace. As each sound erupts and is heard or is not, we are left with silence. As each movement propels, soothes, and alters our being, we are left within stillness. As each tear dries of its own accord, as each emotion is felt, noticed, and released, we are left in emptiness. I think she was influenced by Zen thoughts and Buddhism. I think Buddhism, she quite preferred Buddhism. Okay, this one is Sue Lewis's, from Sue Lewis's book. I actually ordered and bought it and read it through as quickly as possible a few weeks ago. And this is Of Autumn. No longer subject to the pull of ocean tides, I do not navigate by stars and moon. I float without a compass on a calmer sea, taste my own salt. No longer plowed or harvested or grazed, I stretch out fallow-boned beneath the tacit sky, watch ribs of trees vault high above my head, and talk with birds. I am a dry husk, paper-thin, bright seeds all blown away, a ghost who blind walks round familiar rooms, and haunts the back streets, shortcuts, secret views, forgets their names. You were the mown path through my thistle field, your green grass sweet with summer's felled remains, but autumn has a different taste, celeriac and mud. I watch for rain. Okay, that was Sue's poem. And now one by Jean Wallace. Jean Wallace was always with us all those years back. She loved her chocolate poems. And this is Sweet Sensations, Jean Wallace. And this one's called My Racing Love for Chocolate. Chocolate always in fantastic form, odds-on favorite, surefire winner, carrying many silky patterned colors, capped by confidence and success. The flat seasoned swift front runners, Cadbury's by milk out of 2 glasses, Galaxy by stars out of cosmos, Milky Bar by boy out of commercial, Terry's by orange out of sunlight. They're off and it's Cadbury's leading Galaxy, with Milky Bar staying with the leaders. Coming up on the outside is Terry's with a late burst of speed. Yes, yes, it's going to be a photo finish. Steeplechasers, runners known for stamina, not only fast, now rising to further heights. Lynn by 70% out of Switzerland. Benedict's by bitter out of mint. Thornton's by toffee out of wrapper. Superb pedigrees perform magically. Show jumpers, the nation's elite stars, select superheroes, Ambrosia for mortals, Charbonnel and Walker by exclusive out of West End. Ackermans by superlative out of sensational. Rich or poor, the star attraction is forever chocolate.
That's good.
Used to recite the chocolate. One poem she always used to recite it, and we used to sit and listen and offer chocolate. Jean Wallace.
Yeah, Jean Wallace. She had this beautiful plummy voice, and she could do these poems about, you know, sex-ridden vicars and things like that. You never expected it, you know.
Oh yeah.
She was such a character, Jean. She was lovely.
She was.
She used to work. She used to do voluntary work up at the Bethlem Royal for people with psychiatric problems. You know, there's lots of sides of Jean that people didn't know. Yeah, because I was working up there and I saw her. I said, "What are you doing here, Jean?" She said, "Oh, just volunteering." So I thought, yeah.
She was a lovely person. Yeah.
She was very nice. Yeah, she was lovely. Yeah. Now, Mr. Juna, have you got anything for us?
Yes, sir. It's this one is about Vivian Marshall.
Right.
Ever since I came to London in 1985, I have attended numerous writing classes and groups. At one time, I went to a weekly creative writing group beside Goldsmiths College in New Cross. There was also a group for very intellectual scholars who met there and attended a political discussion group, a group I also attended. When I moved from Lee Green to Croydon, I got involved in 2 poetry groups in Croydon, which I thoroughly enjoyed. It was there I met a lady called Vivian Marshall. Vivian and I became good friends and frequently met for coffee at Neuros. I found her writing very appealing, and we would often swap work. Vivian had done a creative writing degree at Kingston University, and so she knew a lot about poetry. Sometimes when we met, she would bring her son Stephen along. Sadly, Vivian passed away in November 2024. This was a terrible shock to all of us who knew her because it was so sudden and completely unexpected. I was able to attend her funeral with many of our poetry friends and family. She was a caring lady of so much worth whom I adored. And this one's called Mary Jill. I met Mary Jill from one of the poetry groups I went to at Croydon Library. Mary has been instrumental in enabling me to include my work in the group's anthology that comes out every year. This is a tremendous publication. Recently, Mary has taken several of my completed poetry and prose works and arranged them for them to be published. She has helped me to design the covers and included photographs in the books. I appreciate and thank Mary for all her help in publishing my work. I also love the poetry groups. I have purchased remarkable work from other member poets. Writing is now an essential part of my life, essentially since I retired from work on the 14th of the 3rd, 2025. Thank you, George.
Well, thank you, Steve. It's right we remember Vivian this time of year. She was a kind and gentle person and a very genuine person. And,
yeah.
As you say, we were all knocked back.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah. Yeah. But thanks for reading those. They're very moving. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Welcome.
Nick, want to read now? Or?
Why not? I have a Rhyterian duplex repetit.
Oh wow. Are you bragging again?
I realized earlier that there were a couple of bits missing to it, so I've added a bit.
Right. So your one's bigger than mine, is it?
I really think we should call them New Georgics.
New Georgics. Yeah. Well, this one's titled "The Truth to Come."
Right.
Yeah.
Something in the way she walks, something in between the cracks heads together, cracks an egg into the omelette firmly beaten, omelette metamorphosis of lies, metamorphosis of state of flux, state of lies repeated endlessly, lies repackaged truth is hunger, truth is pain for others, pain for victims hidden and victims to blame your enemy. Blame is a game theory, game fact of the matter, fact of life of luxury for some. Life is expendable workers, expendable you pay and you suffer. You pray to your God forsaken, God of lies repackaged endlessly, lies repackaged life is expendable, life is torment repeated, torment without end of truth, no end of lies repeated endlessly, lies.
You are so clever, Nick, and you've actually done a synopsis of some of the poems, some of the subjects discussed tonight. So
yeah,
but I realised as well that omelette was a really good word to repeat.
Oh, I wouldn't egg you on with that one, really. No, it's very good. I'd like to see that in print, actually. So it'd be nice if you could post it at some point. Yeah.
This one is based on a true story thing that was in the news a little while ago, and it's called Actioning Palestine support.
Mm.
Man nearly got arrested until police checked his spelling. Plasticine Action terror group morphed into something else when police turned their vision on. He said he wasn't lucky, just sensible. Too right, mate. Got his point across, gave everyone a laugh, demonstrating the stupidity of trying to police words instead of proving intent to cause harm to others.
Yeah. Amen to that, brother.
Very
Yeah.
topical. At least the government got overruled about the right to
Yeah.
appeal, so that's very
Yeah.
good today.
But I did love his Plasticine Action t-shirt. It was
That was brilliant. Yeah. It's almost like making America gruesome again, isn't it? Really.
It is really.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what the first poem was about. Mr. Lies himself.
Mm.
This one's because we're coming up to Halloween. This is my ghost story. And it's called The State of Not Knowing, and it's for Ken. It took me years to come to terms, decades to forgive you for blaming her, for leaving us that way on the path between hatred and despair. You should never have left that note. You were always much better than that. But then I never read your words, only heard second-hand reports. Maybe you only tried to explain how you came to feel so low, so much your family kept from us, even the method of your death. Years later, when I was looking for a flat, the agent showed me yours. Not knowing, he offered me the chance to live where you died, to be where you bled, to breathe where you suffocated, bathe where you drowned, eat where you poisoned yourself, to sleep with your ghost.
Wow, that's in your book, Picking Up the Pieces, isn't it? It's very powerful poem. That very powerful. And I was shocked today when that young boxer actually killed himself. But he hung himself, didn't he? It's so sad.
He did.
Mm. Yeah. Well, having brought us all down, Nick.
I just write a little poem about suicide and you all get miserable. I don't know.
just a gift you have with that. With that race,
it's a nearly true story as well. The only thing that's not true is I didn't go along to the viewing.
Right.
I just went, oh no, mate.
Yeah, it has.
Not that one.
It has a ring of truth about it. Yeah, it has a ring of truth. Yeah. I think there's a lot of the poems we write, if they come from a real experience, they can be so powerful sometimes.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Any more for us, or?
Oh, I've done my three.
Okay, all right.
There we go.
Okay, Peter, what have you got for us, please?
Right. Greta Stoddart. That's what I've got. One. Right, Greta Stoddart, Errand. See that post box on the hill? It strikes an almost tragic pose up there where the four roads meet. In wind and driving row, in snow and blistered heat, it stands alone like an old messenger, cursed, struck, dumb and trusted treasurer of this town's tendered notes, its severance and dried tears, its good luck. Dusk, a thin rain. A child with a letter skips slowly to the box, reaches up, then hesitates. So a simple act, freeze-framed, hinges at fate, eyeing her mother's shaky hand, the indifferent queen, about to slide forever into that black lip. The lamps stutter on, the street is lit like a scene. She's not to know what lay in her hands, what power, if any, she had before she heard the paper's soft thud that filled her with a sudden sense of loss as she turned for home, not knowing the reason why. leaving the letter to its few innocent hours, nestled among the others, unpilfered, warm and dry.
Mm.
And the fitter. It can take days. The vision, you see, is vital. Without it, it's nothing, a soft toy. Pass me my eyes, pointing to an old biscuit tin. It's a kind of hunting all over again, with books open, photos pinned, ready with needle and glue. They caught the body years ago. That was the easy part. But he speaks now of a soul. What, for instance, did the creature see? Moorland, scrub, veld, or sodden jungle, desert, wood, the same indigo skies. The man who fits the eyes has never left his semi in Cardiff, but is a master of precision. Nothing's too small or extinct. Recently, though, a slip in concentration, perhaps, an upright grizzly in the natural history, has the eyes of a man stranded in his front room, the telly blizzarding, the fire gone dead. A bison's head looms out of a wall, dazed, like a woman just woken, sleep crusting her eyes. And a pair of monkeys stare out from a London window, like lovers come to the end, at a loss, in front of what has been, what is to come, dead to the whir and gong of the clock on the hour. His eyes brim at night from all the detail. There's a tea towel over the mirror, and it takes him a while to sleep. Everything's always awake, he says.
Mm.
And resolve. As the stalker sets out on the route he knows by heart, and the climber starts to scale the high and blinding snow, so will a man will up in the middle of the night and go. With only a star or radio for company, he finds peace on the road, to be moving at last. Wipers jauntily clear the screen, the better to see the blackness ahead. And inside a thin hand lurches round the calm green face of the clock, and a red needle trembles at its constancy. There are things he meant to say, but now at her door he turns and sees his shadow stretch and stagger up the steps behind him, as if it bore the load of all the miles he'd covered, the flooded fields, the black-eyed classrooms and mute estates, all the king's heads and hollow ways, the lit pain of one who couldn't sleep. And now he's finally here. He doesn't know why or for whom he came, since, like the stalker's prey, this love knows nothing of him, who breaks now like a climber at a scrap of flag in the wind.
Wow, very good.
Yes, she is.
Yeah, she is. Is she Welsh?
Don't think so, no.
No, just to mention the Cardiff, I just thought she might be, but the post box is nice. Yeah,
Yes.
And I love the taxidermist one as well.
Yes.
It's very good.
It says she was grew up in Oxford. Doesn't say
Right.
where she was born.
No.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Peter. I've got some of these A to Z poems. They're very quick. The first one's called How Revenge Gets Hidden.
Yeah.
After bombs crashed down, each family grieved heavily. In Jerusalem's Knesset, lies manipulated news over probing questions, really searching to uncover verifiable, wicked xenophobia, yielding zilch. That's A to Z. Good.
It's good.
How revenge gets hidden. And the next one is, oh God, where it's gone? It's disappeared. Ah, here it is. This is called an A to Z of the Serengeti Plains. Pun there. No, you all get that. Aggressive beasts come daily expecting food. Gnashing hyenas, impalas, jaguars, kangaroos, lemurs, maybe newts or porcupine quills, relishing snakes, tortoises, unbelievably vultures, whales, X-ray machines, yaks, zebras, zedonks, zoo collections, zealots. There we are. That's the A to Z.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
X-ray machines in the Serengeti.
Yes. Well, it's a surreal Getty. The surreal Getty. This is called Announcing Amy. Announcing Amy. Last night the sky turned cobalt, and trees surrendered copper and brass offerings to be scattered on jade grass. When summertime came to naught, jackdaws hacked harsh sounds, tossed in the wind-strewn sky. A mighty god did the rounds when the storm came by. Wind whistled the chimney, pushed the smoke back down. I stirred uneasily when winter came to town. That's that one. And picking up on Nick's themes of a sad love song, if I can find it. I did. I'm doing a TED at the moment. He always used to. This is an elegy on days gone by. I could well ask why the seasons have flown. There seems little sense in questioning time. I have the memories I own, when what has passed can no longer be mine. I can't clutch the clouds so high in the sky, nor own any colours the rainbow makes, or hear any more that laugh or that sigh, and I cannot forget my past mistakes. In the first season, there was ice and snow, harsh winds abated as green buds appeared. In the world around, I watched new love grow, yet missed the fading tree as winter neared. I can't say now what I ought to have said, for screams will not reach the ears of the dead. That's that one. That's a sonnet, but yeah. Well, I expect you all noticed anyway.
Brilliant.
So
Brilliant.
that's it, folks. It's been only a few of us, but it's enjoyable, isn't it? The range of style is amazing.
Yeah, I like it, honestly, different.
Yeah.
Could have done with some female company, but there you go.
Well, I've got a dress on if you like.
You could do what? Put a dress on, yeah.